this is kind of an impromptu video. I'm here at O'Hare. I have a layover. I just was visiting Justice, as excuse me, many of you know, for his Christmas, and I had a really nice time. I got to enjoy some things with him in his world, in his space, that just made me feel good and filled up my heart a bunch. Yeah, it was hard because in the last couple months I have heard from a really good friend that has a son that is very similar to Justice in regards of their autism, very similar. And I was her mentor, parent mentor, a long time ago, and we remained friends throughout this whole thing, to kind of give each other some, I guess, support in times when things aren't so great and then when things are great. And he's recently turned into a teenager, as Justice did years ago, and has started to display some of those things that scared me back when Justice was younger. More aggression and safety and all those good things were starting to get really, really intense. And so hearing from her and thinking about her and, her telling me the stories, and I don't want to get really personal with what exactly she's going through, but very similar to what I went through, and having to think about hospitalizing her child, having to hospitalize him, and not getting the kind of care and support from the mental health team that these kids need. It's very scary. And then they send you home and send you back into that battlefield. And if you don't have people around you, which I was so lucky, I had such great people around me to help me, and that was exhausting. You really struggle. And I think about people, especially during the holidays. Like, for instance, when Justice was very first hospitalized, which some people know, well, I think a lot of people know, but not everybody, but he was hospitalized during Christmas. And he spent, I want to say, over 20 days, I think it was, in a lockdown environment, couldn't leave, had to get special passes to even take him swimming, different things like that, because he was so intense with his behaviors. And watching, big guys that played football, that were working as kind of like the security team to help the parents, take him down and put him in literally a straitjacket and put him in a room and lock him in there, was a terrible, terrible thing to go through. And thinking at the same time, everybody is celebrating their Christmas and having their traditions and enjoying their families and all of those wonderful things that you should be doing. And I was really sad, and I remember being sad for him and just wanting him to be happy. And I know some of you have heard me say this in the past, but you're never as happy as you're always as happy as your saddest child. So when your child is suffering, so are you, and it's a struggle. And then shortly, about 2 weeks ago, I had someone, it was a week ago, reach out to me via Facebook Messenger and said, hey, do you have any suggestions for someone who's going through a hard time? Talking about hospitalization. 2 people in a row have reached out now, and it's during the holidays, and holidays can be very tough with people on the spectrum, and as well as people that have mental health issues. It can be really tricky because there's this energy about that I think confuses them, and their norm every day is kind of thrown off kilter, and they sense that, so they have a really difficult time. Not to mention that they're teenagers too, with serious hormones and struggling on that end, and then not being able to communicate that they are struggling. So I think it's important to, whether or not you know somebody or whether or not you've thought about it, just remember when you're celebrating your holiday, think about the other people that are, sorry, I was paused there by that loudspeaker, but think about the people that are probably having a harder time, keep them in your thoughts, keep them in your prayers if that's what you do, keep them in your good vibes, your spiritual aura, whatever it is, to just send out positive thoughts for whomever it may be that's going through difficulty. I cannot tell you enough. If you do know somebody or you know somebody that's going through a hard time, to reach out and just offer support in any way you can, whether it's, can I bring you some food? Can I help you call somebody for you? What can I do? Can I, buy you coffee? Whatever it is, or just listen to somebody vent during difficult times is huge, especially around the holidays, but also throughout the entire year. I know this is random, but it was on my heart. It was heavy on my heart, and then I also had to go to a really good friend of mine's son's funeral, passing in Minnesota. He was only 22, and watching my friend and her family say goodbye to him was difficult. And the message that I got out of that was, don't take anything for granted. Tell people you love them every day. Work and all that other stuff is just work, and enjoy your family over this time. Enjoy your loved ones. Reach out to them, surprise somebody, and call them up if you haven't talked to somebody in a long time, and connect. Anyway, have a safe and happy holiday, and if you got time, reach out, donate your time, volunteer somewhere. Everybody out there needs someone, so not everybody has people, and I am so grateful for the people I have, and I'm also grateful for the people that have helped me in the past. Whether it was something little or big, it meant the world to me. So take care and have a great holiday.